Now, thousands of people hitting the roads ahead of the long Easter weekend from today. Monitoring the situation, Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula is up in the sky checking traffic patterns on the N1 North, Gauteng to Limpopo. Let's take you there now with my colleague, that's reporter Govan Whittles, who's joining us now for the latest. Govan Whittles, how are the roads looking? I mean, before you even speak to your guest, can you just quickly give our viewers a sense, what is it looking like on the highways this afternoon?
Well, traffic is flowing slow and steady at this point, Brother, and it's not overwhelmed. The N1 seems to be able to handle the traffic flows around the area. We took a flight from Germiston here to the Mokopane Weighbridge where we are currently, and it's clear that there are a lot of police that have been deployed along the N1, but it doesn't appear that there are any traffic jams just yet. The carousels also seem to be handling the traffic pretty well. Let's speak to the Deputy Director of Traffic and Safety in Limpopo, Mr. Simon Kekana. Mr. Kekana, thank you so much for your time. Just take us through some of the statistics in terms of the volumes of vehicles on the roads and what's expected.
Well, thank you very much. Like we have activated an operation this morning around 6 o'clock. When we check the stats in terms of traffic volume, between the hour 6 and 7, it was about 1,225, which in a normal hour pre-Easter, we were supposed to expect almost close to 2,000. But there was a decline around 7 up to 800, and it went down to 700, and it went down to 500.
Realistically, what does that mean? Is this more than what you expected or less than what you expected?
Initially, during this time of the year, we were expecting an increase in terms of traffic volume. But to us, in terms of our normal stats, there's a decline and there's a decrease in terms of traffic volume, precisely along the N1, which connects Gauteng to Musina.
And what kind of deployment should motorists be expecting along the N1?
Well, we've got very high powerful vehicles that are doing speed monitoring. This morning, we were able to snap a guy of the age of 33 who was traveling at the speed of 208. And the guy was snapped between the Mokopong and Mokopane. So we are trying to warn our motorists as to adhere to the rules of the road and precisely to adhere to the prescribed speed limit.
All right, thank you so much. That's Mr. Simon Kekana, is the Deputy Director of Safety and Traffic in the Limpopo province. Let's talk to the Minister now. He also took that flight from Germiston here to the Mokopane Weighbridge. Minister, thanks for your time. Let's begin with that flight. You had a chance to thoroughly monitor the N1. What did you see? What do you think?
What we see this year is that there's a big difference in terms of volumes of traffic. We still expect that the numbers will go up, but you could see that the volume of traffic on the N1 has gone down. Maybe because, among others, the ZCC churches, congregations are not going that side and in numbers, because by this time now we should be seeing chock-a-block congestion on the N1. It is encouraging, but what is important also is the fact that we want people to travel during the day. So it is good to see the numbers, especially during the day, not at night. When the traffic starts piling up at night, it becomes a challenge, especially when it is raining and it is slippery and so on. But our law enforcement is ready, speed traps and speed monitoring and all of that. So there's no chance about that. Drunken driving, no chance about it. Everyone who is traveling and going to the holidays, buckle up, drive at the proper speed, and you will arrive alive.
And it does appear that because the traffic flow is slow in the daytime, they may pick up at night. What kind of deployment can we expect around the country this evening?
The deployment is static. It is 24/7. There's police, traffic officers everywhere. So there's no chance that you can go on this highway and everywhere else without police on the highways. Even N3, the numbers are not as high as we would have expected, maybe because of the floods also, but the numbers are not as high as we would have expected, especially this time on Thursday on the eve of Easter weekend. So traffic is fairly under control, and if from the statistics of the police, you would have heard that the behavior of the motorist is quite encouraging. And that is what is important for us in terms of safety on the roads.
You're inspecting the road on the N1, but there has been some damage to the roads in KZN as well due to the storm. Are you going out there to see this damage? What kind of response should we expect?
We're going to KZN tomorrow with my counterparts and my colleagues in Cabinet, Human Settlement, Transport, Water. Our teams are already on the ground. I know where the damage is at, and tomorrow we'll give a detailed report how we are going to fix the damage on the roads, and then how we are going to work with the provincial government in the KZN. The president was there yesterday. KZN is declared formally a national disaster, so all hands on deck. Transport, human settlement, water, small businesses, all of us, we will be in KZN. And when we receive the report and do our own assessment, we'll be able to account from transport, what am I going to do in terms of rail. I know rail has been affected from a point of Sanral, working with the province. What are we going to do to fix the roads? Some of the roads are very critical, particularly the bridges that have been washed away. They are connecting the economic activity of our people in KZN to the main areas where business is been undertaken. So we are going to address that as quick as possible, fast as we can, so that we alleviate the pressure on the part of the people and the motorists generally in KwaZulu-Natal. So we are there tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Minister. Just before you go, I have to ask the matter of ATO going to the Constitutional Court after it was declared unconstitutional in the High Court. It appears that the government now wants to get that a different decision at the Constitutional Court. What's informing that, and what is your position in this regard?
I did make that position very clear, unless I repeat myself like a scratched record. I did make it clear that I'm going to appeal the decision right from the onset, for the reasons that our intervention with ARTO in terms of the demerit system is to ensure that we fight the scourge on the roads of lawlessness and all of that, but over and above that, to hold the motorist accountable. Our argument with AUTA on the matter are really matters that will be ventilated before court, and we believe that the Constitutional Court is the right place to go to appeal this particular matter. So we are ready. We are appealing the outcome of the High Court on ARTO.
Thank you so much. That's the Minister of Transport coming to you from the Mokopane Weighbridge, where he's been speaking to some of the truck drivers, some of the bus drivers that are passing through, and handing them a goodie bag as well, Bradan. Let's just take a look at some of the things that the Department of Transport is giving. And this obviously an emergency signal for some of the truck drivers, and then a safety pamphlet from the Department of Transport. And then they also have another box here. This is just be a cup for some coffee that's been given to the drivers. Make sure that they stay alert on the road this Easter weekend. And they're trying to make sure that all the drivers comply with the rules of the road, and they're here to make sure that the people who are inspecting that are doing their jobs properly as well. But there certainly is a lot for the Department of Transport and the Minister to deal with. And as he said, he's off to KZN tomorrow to respond to the devastating floods. It's back to you.
Thank you very much, Govan Whittles, there at the Mokopane Weighbridge on the N1 highway. That's, of course, a very important highway where South Africans use a lot for a weekend like this one. It is Easter weekend after all.